Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for subscribing. I thought today we would slow things down a little bit and try to worry about highlighting mountains and doing foliage highlighting. And I hope you're doing great. Carlton, just wanted to let you know you look fantastic, and for everybody else, you look awesome. So if you have your paintbrush, let's go ahead and rock and roll, and let's get on to it. I thought today we would start out with some blue. I'm going to go and use Prussian Blue. You can use whichever blue you like. Today I'm using Prussian, and I'm going to start right here. And I'm just going to do these little crisscross. So every so often, someone will reach out and tell me what they're struggling with, and it's usually 9 out of 10 times it's highlighting, and that's usually the hardest thing to do, to be honest, is highlighting. Okay. And so we'll go ahead and work on the highlighting mountains and the foliage, and just hopefully I can slow it down. You know, it is a little bit of a disadvantage because you're on that side, I'm over here, and it's, we're not face to face. So I'm not going to go too crazy with the sky. I'm just going to do a nice little blue sky like this, and that's pretty much it. And I'm just going to do a mountain, maybe a little bit of, some kind of hills or something, and a little lake and some foliage. But I really want to just focus on the highlighting. There we go. I don't have a lot of paint on here. I know it looks like I tap into a lot. It's really just enough to stain the bristles a little bit, and then I kind of work with it. And this way, you start here at the top and work your way down, and it just makes things a little bit easier for you. There we go. And so I'm just going to go like this real soft and just kind of get my crisscross strokes out. I got a little hair. There we go. And just like that. And then right here, I know we'll have a little bit of water, so I just want to go ahead and just put some in now and just make life a little easier. And so you're just going to load up, and you're going to go. Maybe we'll do a little streak. So we'll just pull from the side and just pull in. There we go. And just pull in, and we're going to leave a little section here, nice and empty and blank. Okay. And there we go. Just pull and work your way on up a little bit. Okay. And the same thing here. And try to keep the line straight. I'm usually on an angle, so it's a little bit difficult for me because I have the camera right there, okay? But just try to keep these lines horizontal, and there we go. So right now, if you have a lot of paint on your brush, clean your brush, make sure it's dry, and then you're gonna come back and just go over this. I know I don't have a lot of paint, so I'm just gonna go over real softly, and just, there we go. And I just want to, there we go. And there we go. We got a sky, and we got some more. All right, get your palette knife. Let's go ahead and mix up a dark color for our mountains. And we're going to go ahead and use basically equal proportions. So I'm going to use my Alizarin Crimson, or the pink stuff, there we go, about that much. And I'll find a spot, I'll put it right there. I want the same amount with my blue, see, about the same amount, and with my black, about the same amount, okay? And there's my pile right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and just mix it. Just push it in there, mix it, scoop it up, and push it right in there. Push it flat, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves a nice, good size roll, okay? So you can come in, you can put the knife and you can go like that and get yourself a roll, or you can pull it down flat and just touch and get yourself a roll. And let's go up here and make a mountain. All right, so I think, I just want to focus on basically the highlighting. So I'm not gonna go too crazy with this mountain here, okay? So I'm just gonna come up, just try to find just find something. Maybe we'll come up and come over, and remember when you do your mountain, and I'm feeling a little rusty, I haven't done one of these in a while, but just come in and push that in there. Clean that off. Grab yourself a nice roll again and come on in. Let me go ahead so it's not. There we go. And we'll come in like so. And we'll do something like that. We'll just come in and there we go. Just scrape it off, okay? Let me go ahead and clean the knife. And I'll be honest, you don't have to pull the paint out, but if you're struggling, pull the paint out, okay? It'll make your life a little bit easier. So you can grab a 2-inch or a 1-inch brush. I'm gonna grab my 2-inch here. And you just come in, just take it, and then you just pull your paint out, okay? Same thing here. Just coming in and then just pulling the paint out. There we go. I'm just going to make one nice big old mountain like so, okay? And what I'm doing here is just doing the same old crisscrosses that we did up there. I'm just doing it down here to kind of blend it and make it a little bit misty. Because as you know, up here it's dark and down here it's light, so it just does it naturally. And all I did was just take this and pull the paint. And that's why you have to scrape the paint off, because if you don't scrape the paint off, then this right here becomes a slobbing mess. And that's the problem with painting, with this technique especially, is you gotta limitize, you gotta limit the amount of paint. The more paint you have, it's really your enemy. Okay, you want your layers to be thin so you can keep applying another layer and another layer. When I mean thin, I don't mean like thin paint. I just mean you don't need a lot of paint on here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that palette knife, and I'm gonna go right into my white, and we're just gonna do basic white cop. So I'm gonna show you what usually will happen, and I'm gonna try to break this down the best that I can. Okay. Usually two things happens. Either you put your hand on this blade and you push too hard. And when you do that, it just smushes. The other thing would be too much paint. But let me show you what happens. So we'll just grab ourselves some paint. I'm gonna go ahead and come in here, and I'll start right here at the top. It doesn't really make a difference with me on this painting here. This is a learning painting for you, okay? But usually what happens is you come in, you put your finger right on here, and you just smush it. And you don't get any breaking until you get down here at the bottom. You have nothing but a white cap, okay? If that happens, you just come in, scrape this off. You don't need it. Scrape what you can scrape off. Clean that. Go back into your dark paint, grab yourself a little bit, and come back in and apply a little bit more of this dark paint the best that you can. Remember to scrape it off, okay? Remember to scrape it off. Now here's the second problem that usually will happen. If you give me a second, I've just got a lot of paint on here, okay? The second thing that will happen is you get too big of a roll of a paint, okay? So that's a pretty big roll of paint. You don't need that much. And what will happen is I'm gonna do one stroke, and you'll see it's not gonna start breaking until we get down here, because there's just too much paint on here. Too much paint. You come in, and then it finally, up here, it finally starts to break, okay? Scrape that off. I'm gonna show you my little secret. It took me a little bit to figure this out, and I feel like I'm wasting my paint here, but it's okay. And I am using Gamblin 1980. And I did run the colors earlier, so they should have been up there. But once again, grab yourself some dark color here, because we gotta stain this again. And this is the luxury of using oil paint, because you can just scrape your paint off. And that's another thing, if you're struggling with mountains and stuff like that, get yourself a canvas that you don't really care too much about. Excuse me one second, let me change out my rag here. This one's a little too dirty. There we go. Get yourself a a canvas that you don't really care too much about, and you just practice. You just paint, scrape it off, paint. And I'm just going to come in because it's a little bit too much. And I just want to, there we go. There we go. And I'll put that down. All right, so here's the secret. Pull the paint out flat. Remember, you can go this way and get a roll, or you can go down, okay? Get yourself a small roll. A small roll, okay? It's going to break a lot faster. Okay, I'll start here again. Remember, don't put any pressure on this blade. You're going to hold it right here, like this. 2 fingers, and I'm usually just holding like this and just kind of guiding it, you know, or just getting a little bit more of a handle by that. But it's really just, this is it, okay? You come in, you touch, and just one stroke, you can see it's starting to break, and then I'm going to run out of paint. And that's how you break. It took me a long time to kind of figure it out. You don't need a lot, just a small roll, and you just come in. Remember, touch real soft. Whoops, wrong angle, real soft, and it should start grabbing your stuff. And it's awkward. You got to get used to it, okay? Grab yourself another roll. I'll just come in, do the same thing. And another thing you can do is you can just jab, just okay. Let's come over here. We'll bring this over. Same thing. I'm barely touching. I'm just kind of skipping a little pebble across the pond. And why you hear that right there? You hear that? I'm out of paint. Okay. So if small roll, it'll start to break a lot easier. You get that big roll, it doesn't break until you get down. Until you get down. And then there you go. Okay. Let's go ahead and just do a little bit of a shadow color. We'll go ahead and take the blue, or excuse me, the white, touch of this blue, and a touch of that mountain color that we made. Okay, and we'll do the opposite side. You just touch, come in, real soft, and there you go. And like I said, this just takes a little bit, man. You got to get used to the touch, and that's it. That's how you do mountains. It's just touch. It's the touch. I'm barely touching, and I'm just letting it glide. Okay. Let's grab a little bit of this white. Come in. There we go. Something like so. Maybe. I don't know. You can just do whatever you like. It's just, like I said, small amount of paint. That's the secret. Very small amount. Very small amount. I can't even talk right now. A small roll of paint will do it for you, okay? And we go ahead and just mist that out a little bit. So I'm going to tap into the top corner, right there, top corner, okay? And we'll just come in. And I'll just start misting this out. Tap, tap, tap. I just wanted a little bit of white just to make it a little bit more misty. We'll come in. Like so. All right, and then real soft, just lift it towards the angle of your mountain. And very soft little X's, and it'll be nice and misty, okay? Okay, I'm going to use that same dirty 2-inch brush I was just doing the mist with. I'm going to go right into straight old sap green. You're going to pull some down and just tap, tap, okay? We're going to put ourselves a little bit of a, I guess a little foothill. And you're just going to tap. And that's all I'm doing. Look, tap, tap, okay? Well, I'm just angling the brush I get, so it's not a straight line, okay? You can see it's got some movement. It's got some character, I guess you can say. So pull some down, tap, push it up. Oops, excuse me. And then come in. And I'm not tapping really hard. I'm just It's just a soft tap, maybe light medium, and that's it. I'll just come in, do something like this. Okay, and I'm going to come in and just get a little bit more, and I'm just going to pull some of it down. Okay, remember, straight down the best you can. I'm, like I said, on that angle, so it's a little difficult for me, but try to be straight down, and then very softly go across. And you got that nice little line right there. We're going to follow that and just put in a little bit of land. And I'm just going to use a fan brush. I'm going to go into my black sliding on me, but I'm going to go into my burnt umber with the fan brush. I'm using number 3, and I'm just going to come in. Just going to kind of just follow this line. There you go. Get some land, and then I'm just going to very softly, I'm just scrubbing right here. Very softly. Scrubbing it and just moving it back towards the green. There you go. There you go. So you got some nice land and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and put that down. I'm going to grab a palette knife, and I'm going to go ahead and just put in a little bit of a waterline. So straight down, grab yourself a tiny roll, and just come in and tap right under it, and just move the line. And that's it. Clean your knife, get your next little line here. You just touch, and just go right across. And you can go right here as well. And I'm just going straight across. I'm letting the canvas just take what it wants, and there you go. Okay. I hope you're feeling good about yourself and being proud if you are painting along. And hopefully that did help you back there. I'm gonna go right now. Let's work on this foliage. Okay. This is a major struggle. Major. This is probably more of a struggle than those mountains for a lot of people. Okay. And so let's see what I can do to break it down. Let's make ourselves a nice dark color, okay? So we're just gonna add to that same pile that we did earlier, that was the mountain colors. We're just gonna I'm gonna throw in my black, and I'm gonna throw in a nice chunk of my green. If you can do equal proportion, that would be awesome. Half black, half green, okay? Just mix it up, make sure it's thoroughly mixed, and get what you can get off. There we go. All right. So I'm going to break this down. We'll probably keep this open. I'm going to do one way here and another way here. So this way I'm going to do the open tap style, and this way we'll do the dog paw style. So I'll show you both ways, okay? So for this one, we're going to go ahead and tap it. Okay, so you just need right here. That's all you need, right there with the paint. Just the top corner. You can see I still have some blank left on my paintbrush down at the bottom. You don't need the whole thing, okay? And you just tap into your pile. And I don't know if you can see it, I'm trying to angle it, but there's texture, okay? And that's, if you see textures like little peaks, it's perfect. The paintbrush is open. You're going to come in and you're just going to tap, tap, tap. Okay? We're not highlighting, we're just doing the shadow. So that's all you got to do is just come in, tap, come over here and start doing your thing. And there you go. See, we just want these top stuff. Don't worry about anything else. Okay? Let me tap in a little bit more here. There we go. I'm just looking for little bushes, okay? And I'll show you how to highlight that in just a second. Now for the dog paw, here's how you do the dog paw. And this is a struggle for a lot of people, okay? This is the Bob Ross stroke, basically. You gotta get paint on here. You just pull straight down, straight down. And then you take the brush and you turn it. And the rounded corner, slightly rounded, will be up. And then you just come in and you push. You just touch and kind of push. Touch and push. And you'll get these little things. And you can see the difference is a little bit more bushier than that way, okay? So it's a very, very good stroke. But once again, you pull it down and then turn the brush and come in. And when you push, you hit it up. So you touch and hit it up. And this gives you another texture, another different way, okay? And I'll just, I don't know, kind of open this, make this a little bit, I don't know, something like so, okay? And like I said, we'll leave that open. And what I'll do, here, let me grab, I'll grab just my palette knife and just scrape in a couple little, just a couple little lines, okay? Maybe. And I'm going to paint in some probably with the palette knife anyways, because that's usually what I do, but at least it gives you an idea of where your bushes are going to be, okay? So here's the issue, here's the problem. Let me see if I can explain it, okay? Usually what's going to happen, and I'm going to ruin my stuff on purpose, okay? You're going to come in, you dip into your paint medium, using Bob Ross liquid white here, and you'll come over and you'll go like this, and you'll have some yellow on here, like it will look like it, but it's all medium. You have no paint on here, it's just medium. And then when you come in, I'll go right here, you're gonna come in and just hit it too hard, and then you get that big old smudge right there, okay? Let's scrape that off. Scrape off what you can. I'll go back into the brush that had the dark paint. Remember, this is the side that we tapped. So I'm going to tap it. I'm going to come right back in here and cover that up, okay? That's why we use oil paint. Makes your life a lot easier. Once again, I'll go ahead and just scrape in a little line. And now let me show you how to do this, okay? You need to have paint on here. This paint's thick. You just need to thin it out slightly. Just slightly, okay? You don't need it that thin, okay? What you do is you're going to pull out your thick paint. Pull some out, okay? And tap into your pile, okay? You're going to come over and just touch for a little bit, okay? See, I get something, but it's not great, okay? So I know that needs to be thinned out just a little bit. So I'll go into my white medium. I only grabbed a little bit of medium. It's not a ton of it. And I'm going to come in and just pull some in here and loosen it up. Tap into it again, okay? And I'm just using that top corner. I don't know if you can see the texture. There's the texture, okay? You can see the texture. This paint is thick, and this right here is thin. This is thick, that's thin. It's just that this is a little bit thinner than what we have there. You're gonna come in and you're gonna tap. You're gonna tap, 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 and that's it. And there's your bush, and it just comes out. And even that, I know it's slightly a little bit too thick. I'm just gonna thin out slightly. Little drips at a time. Get my texture. I'm going to come in and just, there you go. And you just tap, tap, and that's it. Make sure you have spaces of dark. There's your shadows. And that's it. All I'm doing is just tapping open the bristles. Tap, you can hear it, tap, tap, tap. and I just come over here and I just touch. Very, very soft. I mean, that's a light touch. A light touch. And there you go. And that's how you do the tap style. Let's go ahead over here and do the dog paw. So the dog paw is going to be straight down. Now, this paint is thick. I'm pulling from the pile now, from the top pile right up here. So now I know I have some paint on here and I know it's thick. I'm going to go ahead and dip into that medium again. I'm going to come in and go straight down. And you should see that texture. You see that texture right there? That's how it is on the brush. You just load it straight down. Straight down. Here, I'll do it sideways. You load it straight down and then turn your brush so that the roundest side is on top. And you come in and you touch real soft, barely touch, and lift up a little bit. Touch, and it's more of a rock. I'm not really going like this, it's just a little rock, okay? And I come in, and that's it. Very, very soft. So I'm starting to run out of the paint. When you usually run out of the paint, what happens, you hit it too hard and you smudge it. You don't need to do that. You go right back into your paint here. Load up and come right back in here and do it again. And that's it. Barely touching. I'm touching and kind of just giving a little rocket motion. And as I start to run out of paint, I stop. I'm gonna go ahead. I know it's a little bit thick. I can feel it. I'm gonna go back in here, get my color again. Same thing. Pull it down, come in, and same thing. You hit, and there's your bush. And same thing in there. There we go. And we've got just a little bit more here to go. I'll go ahead and just pull in that thin paint into my thicker pile here. Come in, same thing. And there you go. And that's how you highlight. I'm gonna go ahead and use my liner brush. I'm gonna dip into some of my paint thinner here. I'm gonna go into my white. Go into my brown, and I'll actually dip into a little bit of that medium. There we go. Thin it out. There we go. And I'm gonna come in and just start putting in some little stuff. And let me go ahead and get a little more of that medium. Excuse me, that would be my dog. I don't know if you can hear her. Here we go. Here you go, okay? We go ahead and there you go, just like that. I'm gonna take a fan brush. I wanna go into this brown here. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put something in right there. I'm using, that was burnt umber. And I'm gonna take that brush that we had that had the dark paint. I'm gonna tap into my dark pile again. And I'm gonna come in and just put a little bush right there. Put that down. I'm gonna go right back into that pile that I had here. And I know it's a little dry, a little bit too thick. I'll just grab a little bit of the medium and go right back in. Remember that this paint right here is still thick. It's still thick, there's still texture, you can see it, okay? Just tap, 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 and come in and tap. Same thing here. And there you go. And I have another fan brush. Now I'll go ahead and just have just a little bit more fun here. Just real quick, I'm just going to take some of the white medium, go into a little bit of my titanium white, tap open a little bit of the bristles here. We'll just say the sun's coming that way. I'm just going to tap. There we go. Just a little something in there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and clean that liner brush. And I'm going to go ahead and dip into my white medium one last time. Come right over here. Make sure you get it nice and thin and rolled. Nice point here. And I'm going to go ahead and just sign this guy. There we go. Hopefully this helped you out a lot. At least, you know, show you what the common mistakes are and what you can do to kind of correct it. But you know, you just need to be patient and put the practice in, and hopefully it will stick, because if you can figure out the highlights, that's it. That's the game changer. Again, you know, that's it. Your money after that. Absolutely golden, okay?